Hi, author friends. I know staring down the barrel of a new year can be really daunting and intimidating when it comes to planning how you're going to write, how you're going to market, all of these sorts of things. It doesn't have to be. So I'm going to share with you today, you're going to come along with me, let's say, as I think through what I'm going to be doing and creating in 2025. I'm going to take you along with me today as I think through what I'm going to be writing and how I'm going to be marketing it in 2025. So to start with, I'm thinking about what books I'm going to be working on. So there's a few factors here, and the big things for me are continuing existing series. So most of the books that I have written so far are in series. Most of those series have 2 or 3 books. There is one in particular. I'll pop a little picture of it up here because I'm not going to get up and get it off my shelf. That would take way too long. But the book Intoxicated by You is due for a second book in its series, so that's something I will prioritize working on. I also have a pre-made cover, a book cover that I purchased a couple of years ago now, and I've been really wanting to get that started as a new series, so I will focus on that as well. Additionally, it'll just be continuing existing series. This also means I'm staying aware of my goal to have 20 books published by the time I turn 40, which is happening on November 27th of 2025. So I have tentatively a list of books I'd like to publish. So the plan is that there are 2 books that I haven't managed to publish this year, although they are almost ready to go. So those are getting pushed to early 2025. And then in addition to those 2, I have 6 other books, novels, or novellas planned. So when it comes to thinking about marketing, I do tend to think about this quarterly. When I look at it as a whole year, it is quite intimidating. It's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do all the things that I want to do? How am I going to make sure that there is, that I'm staying on top of all the things I'm supposed to do? So I'm going to be drawing this on a little sheet of paper here so we can kind of go through it together. So the first thing that I do is I think about the year. Actually, I think about it quarterly. Well, that's kind of a mess. So we're going to put Q1 here, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Now these are just going to give me like the broad picture here of what we're working with, and then I will actually focus on just a quarter at a time as it comes up. I keep like a board going with the post-its of my projects. Like this is very much like the heart breathings method. So that's what I do each quarter, but this is just to give me like a big overview of how I want each quarter to look. I'm only going to be putting marketing things on here. I don't want to put the specific writing goals on here because I kind of don't want to give spoilers of what books I'm going to be releasing, apart from the second Intoxicated by You book, because I already told you that. But this, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on the writing side of things, especially with that recent writing half a book in 3 days challenge, the Jesse Q. Sutanto one. I'm going to be mentioning it all the time because it was such a game changer for me, something I definitely plan to do. Most likely I will do that at least once a quarter, because it was just a blast. It was so much fun. I have a pretty good handle on the writing side of things, on setting a goal in terms of word count and actually achieving it. Marketing, there's a reason I'm focusing on this here, and that is that I really fell off the marketing bandwagon, at least in terms of social media and any kind of advertisement. That didn't really happen that much in 2024, and I did see a change. So in 2023, I found I sold more paperbacks, probably because I was regularly marketing them on social media. Now, my sales overall have increased in 2024. I've made more money, I've sold more books, but I haven't sold as many paperbacks. It's been a shift towards ebooks. So it's just something I'm noticing there. And I know that I would like to harness the power of organic social media and also start working on doing some advertising as well. So that's what we're going to start with here. My plan for the first quarter is to focus on organic marketing, social media, because, well, I suspect if I focus on that and don't do anything extraneous for that quarter, I suspect I will see a result of it. So I've seen people do videos here where they're like, okay, I spent 90 days marketing my book. Did it have an effect on sales? I like to compare this to a previous quarter where I wasn't doing that. And luckily, I have great control data from 2024 because I did very, very, very little social media marketing. So any random quarter that I take from this year will be a great control to compare with this. Apart from the quarter where I had a BookBub featured deal, because that definitely moved the needle. That was huge. So that's the first part there. The second thing, I will also want to focus on doing some ads, and I think I'm going to do a different ad focus each quarter. And my thought is to start in Q2 with Amazon ads, just strictly because another aspect here is that I want to be budget friendly. So I want to average out to like $50 a month for the various marketing things I want to do, because I'm trying to do it budget friendly. I'm not trying to show you how things work if I spend $10 a day on Facebook ads, because that obviously is a lot more than $50 a month. I'm just trying to sort of dip my toes into different things and see how they go. And I can use the money that is made from book sales, I can reinvest that in marketing. This, though, I'm just thinking like from strict budget standpoint, what I might do. So I would start with Amazon ads because those do tend to be cheaper. Like they don't spend your full budget. Facebook ads do spend your full budget. BookBub ads in general, unless you go by click instead of by views, then anyway, we don't need to get into that. I'm not a BookBub ads expert. The point is, I think I'll start with Amazon ads. In Q3, we will shift to BookBub ads, either adding them on or replacing them, like if the Amazon ads haven't been successful. And then in Q4, we will dive into Facebook ads. And maybe that's not the move. Maybe they're going to be more expensive because we're gearing up towards holiday season, all that kind of stuff. This is just how I'm sketching it out right now. If it makes more sense to switch things around later, I will switch them around later. So there are some other marketing plans that I have. I will participate, as I have done, in various free book blasts. I'm not putting those on here because most of those are not public knowledge. Some of them I don't even know the exact dates yet. And I'm not gonna, no spoilers. So I know that that's happening at least once a quarter, every quarter. That is something, for me, that's like one backbone of my book marketing, is doing a free book blast every now and then. And so I guess I should say I have definitely done marketing in 2024 because I've done a number of those, but I haven't done like the more active marketing. Those I feel are fairly passive. I get my book price matched to free, and then I let it go out into the world and do its thing and let the subsequent books in the series sell through, all that good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna stick with Q1, I would say, with just the organic and the free book blasts that come along with it, that come along during that time. I'm not gonna put those on here. I have to figure out which book I want to do free. I might just do a different one each quarter or each month. I don't really know. That part remains to be seen. So there's a few other things that I'd like to try. I would like to try a NetGalley co-op with one of my ARCs. I would like to try hiring out some sort of book tour. There are some that I've seen I've really liked that are like traveling ARCs or drop-offs at little free libraries. I think that would be probably a Q4 thing. So we'll say, I'm just gonna call it traveling ARC. I don't know if that's what I would do specifically, but something like that. Anyway, yes, I do want to do a NetGalley co-op. We can say that maybe in Q2. Looks like I wrote coop there, but I did at least intended to say co-op. I'd also like to try doing a series promo. So some of the different paid newsletters you can be a part of have these specific series ones where you get sent to like the Amazon series page. And I've seen people have good results with them. I would like to try that. I'd like to try one of the lower cost ones. I know there's a higher cost one that I've seen good results from, but I'd like to try that. I will most likely be applying for BookBub featured deals as this goes along, because even though they are a little pricier, they are like too good to pass up. So I like to apply to regularly be having an application, a submission, I should say, in with the BookBub folks so that they have the chance to reject or accept one of my books. I will do a video about this at some point because my experience of doing my first BookBub featured deal was very, very cool, like how it came to be and the actual experience. Now I'm going to make a note in this corner. There's a couple things I would really like to do. They are dependent on if I'm either able to be in the US or find someone else to fulfill them for me. So I'd love with one of my new releases to do a pre-order campaign, some sort of thing where I'm like, hey, if you pre-order the book and fill out this form, I will send you this fun little thing. if that's something you've ever done or something you enjoy as a reader, I'd love to hear about that in the comments, because I do think those are really cool and really fun. The other thing that is like on my list of sort of dream things to do is like PR boxes. So I had this thought, I had dreamed about doing this like with my Cats of Istanbul novella series, of having, for people who are influencers in the field, I don't like that word, but there isn't really a better word that comes to my mind, send them the 4 books and some like, you know, Turkish delight and a cat toy. Obviously that didn't happen. I haven't published the 4th book in that series yet, but based on when it's going to come out, I don't see myself being in the US to create these boxes and mail them out. So these are things down here. I'm just kind of putting a star that I'm like, if I'm in the States and if it's not going to be too much of a pressure, or if someone in the US is like, hey, I'd love to fulfill that for you. That sounds like super fun. It's a little tricky because in general, I feel like in general, isn't there like a signing your name component to it? I can't have somebody else fill that for me. So anyway, that's just like, these are sort of like, we'll say that if in the US. So this is like very simple. I probably could have made it more complicated to make it seem more magical, more mysterious, but this is as simple as it is, as my mind wants just these big concrete things of like, okay, when Q1 arrives, which it will in a couple of weeks, I go, okay, here's what we're focusing on. Organic marketing, social media. That's it. That's the thing. That's the whole move. So yeah, create your little post-it to-do items, like each week batching content, scheduling it, getting it out there. Focus on that. Then in Q2, we're going to add in Amazon ads. We're going to explore a NetGalley co-op. We're going to do all these other things. Q3, Q4, and again, those might change. But the point for right now is that like, this is where my attention goes. I mean, right now my attention is still on Q4 of 2024. But when it comes time, like once we zoom out, we look at the big picture and then we zoom back in and we go, okay, let's focus on Q1. There's going to be a lot of writing happening during this time, and there's going to be a lot of social media. That's it. That's all that's going on. And my plan is to kind of create like a playlist for this and come back in and update you all on how this is going, share the various budget marketing things that I try and how they go. So in general, that's why I want to choose the lower price points, you know, like a NetGalley co-op instead of a NetGalley membership, for example, because I want to try to average to about $50 a month on these various things. I'll let you know how it goes. I'd love to hear any feedback that you have in the comments, any thoughts you have as an author or as a reader of how you like to discover new books. I'm all ears. See you next time. We're just going to pause because someone is digging a litter box, and that is a pretty loud thing that happens. And now there's a sound of peeing.